Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMTrading. Today is February 2nd, 2023, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of today, the FOMC comments after their rate decision, lifting the markets higher. But first, looking at the major economic events of today. So starting at 2 p.m. South African time, out of Great Britain, we have an official bank rate decision. That's an interest rate decision out of the UK. And then at 3:15 South African time, European Central Bank will be coming out with their main refinancing rate. That's an interest decision for the Eurozone as well. Now, as we look at the various markets, the Euro rallied versus the USD to 110. And looking at the indices, the NASDAQ had a big bounce, a big rally, while the Dow Jones unchanged for the day. Now looking at commodities, gold also had a nice breakout back to its highs, 1954, while oil unchanged for the day. Now looking at the stocks, it was the tech stocks that lifted the markets higher yesterday, and they're the ones to benefit the most. Now lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin rallied as well. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to start out looking at the Euro USD and look at this nice pop yesterday above 110 for the first time in a very, very long time. But not big above 110. It's just slightly over 110. And so that's not something to write home about. It's got to sustain it. Okay, let's see if it holds its level later today. 110.80 is the next real resistance-ish level. And we're right there. We're about 30, 40, 50 pips away from that. So that's a decent place that we're in, okay, as we're, inching closer to this resistance-ish level. GBP USD unchanged, okay, so it's specifically the euro versus the US dollar that was getting stronger, the euro specifically getting stronger. So I would like to see after today's ECB, European Central Bank's rate decision, if it's going to retrace. Was this just a fake out breakout? Could be. So just keep an eye on this later today. Now, as we look at gold, look at that. A nice pop yesterday from 1928 up to 1958. And then retracing just a little bit below that, 1956 right now. Still very strong, okay, and still on its upwards momentum. Now, when we look at crude oil, didn't change so much yesterday, $76, and it shouldn't, okay? The interest rates don't really affect oil so much. So keep that in mind. This is still on a downwards momentum. We haven't hit the bottom of it. $72 would probably be somewhere in the bottom of it. And look at that. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, it had a spike yesterday to 34,300. It did sell off to 33,600. Okay, so it was in a big range. It was about a 700-point range within that time frame where the news came out. I mean, that's crazy. Okay, the initial move in the market was to rally, and then you had the fade right afterwards, which is in and of itself a great trading opportunity. However, looking at the NASDAQ, did not fade, showing some strength on the upside. That means the tech sector is the one that's going to carry us higher if it's going to take out. Now, there was some positive news yesterday after the FOMC came out, but there's also the news that they're going to continue increasing interest rates. They still have work to do, whatever that means. Okay, so with that said, the market still rallied, which means that these tech stocks have the most to gain from the current situation. Okay, now if we look at Facebook, right back to its highs, okay, 152. Now today, remember, we have Apple coming out with its earning reports, Apple, Google, and Amazon. So they will be in play much of the day. Okay, the news is coming out before the market opens around 3:30 South African time. So that's a future opportunity. If it does pop above 146, we could see it back in that 156-ish level. So keep that in mind. Now looking at the other major stocks, Amazon, on its highs and higher, 105. That's a decent place for it to be. So if it does push higher there, also Google's on resistance at 101. And if it does break above it, we could see it go back to 120-ish level, okay? Because these stocks are still quite buoyant in this kind of environment. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, we spiked yesterday to 24,000, showing some strength and then decreasing with lower volume, which means the market's still very strong. Now, tomorrow we have NFP. So this week is really cooking up to be a very exciting week when it comes to trading. Lots of volatility, lots of opportunities, but that also means that you have to be much more responsible. So make sure to put stop losses and take profits as you're going along, as you're trading these markets. This is Razak, and I wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.